Hello viewers, you're welcome to another exciting episode on the Youth Arena, and today we're going to be continuing from where we left off the last time. We are still on the Growing Your Leadership Influence series, and the last time we talked about faith in people and how to have faith in people. And today we're going to be looking at something very important also, that when we add to our cart of learning, we'll also be able to grow our leadership influence anywhere we find ourselves at all times. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about prioritizing integrity. So another important point, another important stuff we need to know in our journey to growing our leadership influence is the importance and the need to prioritize integrity. When we talk about integrity, we are talking about character, the strength of our character, the moral code, the ethical code, which seems to be something that is dying away gradually in our generation, because most people are more interested, or seem to be more interested, in getting to a certain point. Most people are no longer so interested in the process through which they undergo to get to a particular point, to get a particular result, and all of that. People seem to be just interested in getting whatever it is they need. That's why we have we hear so much news today about Yahoo boys, people who are into 419 and all of that. The end goal is to make money. So however they feel the money should come around, or the money could come around, they don't care. What they just want is that they want to hammer, in the language of the contemporary youth. Okay, so we live in a generation, such generation, that the strength of morality and the strength of character seems to be fast on the rate of decline. And that's why such a topic as this is very important for you as a leader who wants to grow his leadership influence. This is something you must take very, very personally and understand it, as well as practice it with people around you. It begins with you. So you must understand it for yourself in order to practice it, and surely in practicing it, you will grow your leadership influence. So let's kick off. First of all, what is integrity? Integrity, like I said earlier, has to do with the strength of our character, has to do with things concerning the moral code, the ethical code, doing things the right way, and all of that. Having a record for having a particular set of values or a particular set of standards. So integrity is adherence to moral and ethical codes, soundness of character. It also speaks of honesty. But for the course of our discussion, you're going to be hearing me interchange integrity with character and all of that for better learning, of course. Okay, so we're going to kick it right off. Now, the first thing I would like you to understand is that the need for integrity today is as great as it has ever been. Very, very important. People who take integrity as priority have a way of standing out among others. Why? Because everybody seems to be looking for the easiest way out, the shortest cut to arriving at their destination. So people who actually factor in integrity in their journey to success are exceptional. Why? Because we live in a generation where people don't seem to care any longer about integrity and all of that. They step on as many persons as needs to be stepped on, who are on their way and all of that. That's why somebody who is created by God would design a 419 scheme just to scam people. And the person has no conscience attached to whatever he's doing, doesn't care whether people get hurt in the process and all of that. That's the generation we are in. But that shouldn't be who you are as a leader. That shouldn't be. Okay, now the next thing I want us to note is that we see character and moral breakdowns in every aspect of our life and society. That's also a reason why this subject is important for you as a leader. When you look at the government, you look at religion, you look at entertainment, you look at sports, and all other life aspects and circles, we see a major breakdown in character and morals. A major breakdown. We hear stories. Of course, we live in a generation where we have more insane celebrities than sane celebrities. Celebrities so-called that wouldn't care what, whether children are watching them or not, carry all sorts of naked women, on their videos, all in the name of doing what I don't understand, promoting all manner of gangsterism and all of that. That's the kind of celebrities we have. Most of them go in and out of jail, and it's just terrible. That's for the entertainment world and all of that. We get into the church, we hear all manner of nasty stories. Not just the church, even the mosques, all manner of nasty stories. You get into the government, that seems like to be the height of it all. We have people who are in government who constantly are, under one issue or the other that speaks nothing good about their character and their ethics. That's the generation we found ourselves in. And you are meant to thrive as a leader in this kind of generation. So you need this kind of subject at this point in time in order to be able to stand out irrespective of all the moral and character breakdowns that we have in our generation. Okay? Now, you need to understand at this point that integrity is very crucial for business. If there's anything I would recommend as a major factor for business excellence for anybody who is into business and all of that, it's integrity. I for one like doing business with people who have integrity. People who you can hold them to their words. If they say they are delivering a particular good or a particular product or a particular service, so and so they just relax. Those kind of persons you can trust to say, as long as he has said it, he will do it. Of course, we have a lot of people who are in different business facets who cannot be trusted with what they say, let alone being trusted with, their actions and all of that. It shouldn't be. That shouldn't be your case as a leader. We should have integrity, verbal integrity, character integrity, and all other forms of integrity in every aspect of our life and businesses. So integrity is very important in business. It's very important for our personal success. And integrity is also very, very important if you must become a positive influencer. If you must become a positive influence and a positive influencer on people around you that God has brought under your leadership, you must take integrity very, very seriously. We should be able to match your words with your actions. You should be able to stand for something. You should be able to have standards, have values, have morals, and stand by them and be known for them. Very, very important. Okay. Now, the next thing you should understand in the course of our discussion is that integrity is the foundation on which true respect, dignity, and trust is built. I would like you to commit this to memory because it will be reoccurring as we are discussing. Integrity is the foundation on which respect, dignity, and trust is built, which means if there is no integrity, respect, dignity, and trust is far-fetched. It's easier to trust someone who has integrity than someone who does not have integrity. Trust is a very scarce commodity in our generation, and that is so because integrity is very scarce. Wherever you find integrity, you find trust. Why do we find trust where we find integrity? Because integrity has a way of breeding consistency of character, and it's easier to trust someone who has consistent character than someone who has inconsistent character. Very, very important. So as a leader, you should invest in building integrity. Invest in building your character. Be known for something and let that stuff you are known for be for the right reasons, be for the right stuffs, the right values, the right standards. And before you know it, you're going to breed respect. People are going to respect you for it. You're going to be dignified for it, even though it seems like in our world, we seem to promote the negatives more than the positive. But trust me, there is still dignity left on the lives of persons who live a life of integrity. And lastly, trust is bred when integrity is our foundation. So I'll take that again. I said integrity is the foundation on which true respect, dignity, and trust is built. Now, if the foundation of integrity is weak or fundamentally flawed, being a person of influence is as good as impossible. So it's still calling our attention to the fact that if you want to be a leader who is not just influential, but who is not just a leader per se, but influential at the same time, you must take integrity very seriously. You must work on your character. You must work on your character. We should be able to match your words with your actions. We should be able to know that as long as this one is concerned, he's not going to shift grounds for anything that is not moral, for anything that is immoral, rather. He's not going to shift grounds for anything that is not the truth. Is either the truth or nothing, and is the truth and nothing but the truth. That's the kind of leader you should be. Now, we live in a time where people can compromise for anything. People can compromise for anything, but you should also know that no matter the century we are in, whether it's the 31st century or it is the light speed age or whatever, a lie is still a lie. Whether it's called white lie or black lie or neutral lie, whatever it is called, a lie is still a lie. And when you steal, stealing is still bad. These are some of the basic stuffs we should be able to come to terms with. When we start justifying that it could be a lie, it could not be a lie, you could decide to lie in any situation, it depends. Once the word "it depends" starts coming in, there's already a problem, there's already a crack on the wall of such a person's integrity and character. You should be a person of integrity, a person of character at all times, irrespective of what the situation is. Okay? Now, I wrote down here, I said integrity commits itself to character over personal gain. When you meet a person of integrity, the person values character over personal gain, as opposed to what we have in our generation today. People tend to watch out for what they have to gain first, as against, what character they should manifest as at that point. For instance, you meet people who are in the force, or maybe people who are civil servants, or people who are going about their businesses, and you have dealings with them. They seem to be more interested in what they can gain from whatever transaction you are doing with them, much more than they are doing what they are supposed to do. So it's a time and it's a generation where people are more interested in personal gains over character. But when you make integrity your watchword, you discover that character becomes, more important to you than personal gains. And most times, maybe not all the times, but most times, when you do the right things, the personal gains you tend to, pursue have a way of following you back. You have a way of getting them. So sometimes you might be tempted to deceive somebody to get something. You might be tempted to steal from somebody in order to get something. If you do otherwise, chances are, maybe not exactly, not all the time, and moreover, you should do things that are right because it's right, not just for you to get things in return from them. But some of those times, we get much more than what we bargained for in goodness back from whatever our attitudes are. So something we should take very seriously. So when we commit ourselves to integrity, character is exalted over personal gains. When we commit to integrity, we discover that we commit ourselves to people over things. People over things becomes our priority. Of course, we live in times where people value things more than they value people. We live in times where people tend to use people and value things instead of valuing people and using things. Don't be caught in that web. We must learn to value people and use things. And at every point in time, people should be first on our list to be considered over things. Okay? Now, when we are committed to integrity, we are also committed to service over power. We are committed to service over power. So when you become a person of integrity, service ranks higher for you than power. It's not about being in the position of power. It's about serving. Unfortunately, we can't say that for most of our leaders in different countries of the nation today, because most of them seem to be after power. The reason why they seem to run after power is so that they can make decisions that flow in their favor. Meanwhile, the essence of leadership is to serve. And service should be exalted above power at any point in time. But when you have, moral flaws, when you have foundations that are not deeply rooted in integrity and character, when we give you power, you will use it to the detriment of every other person and use it to serve yourself, which shouldn't be. Okay? Now, people who are committed to integrity exalt principle over convenience. And then people who are committed to integrity seem to look at things in the long run and not just in the immediate. I believe if our leaders, right from when they started leading, put the welfare of generations yet unborn ahead of their immediate needs, ahead of their immediate satisfaction and momentary pleasure, a lot of things that are the way they are right now wouldn't be the way they are. So, as a leader, listening to me from any part of the world, I want you to understand that it's important that you look at things in the long run. Make decisions based on the long run and not just on immediate matters, on immediate feelings and all of that. When you become a person of integrity, you look at things in the long run and not just in the immediate. Okay? Now, the next thing you need to understand about the subject matter on ground, I'm just giving you overview thoughts here and there on matters concerning integrity and character. Okay, now anytime you break a moral code, you create a small crack in the foundation of your integrity. That's why you shouldn't even start. Don't start, giving room to all manner of immoral codes and, breaking the moral codes, not doing things the right way, not doing the right things and all of that. Don't start. Don't start, because once you start, as little as it may seem, cracks are already being created on the walls of your integrity. And it doesn't, sometimes when we're in such situations, we are tempted to think, yeah, if I can do this one, maybe by the next time I'll find a way to do the right thing. If you start, sometimes it's not that easy to stop. It's easier to, kill a seed than to start uprooting the tree, or to, want to cut down the tree. We can handle these things from the grassroots. Don't start. Don't start. Why? Because at other times, you discover that it becomes even tougher to act with integrity. It becomes tougher to act with integrity when you've already laid that foundation of, of moral flaws and moral decadence here and there. Very, very important. So we're encouraged not to get into spaces where we break the moral code. Why? Because once you start, it's usually not that easy to stop. You will find yourself in spaces where you lack the ability to control whatever it is that is flowing from you. Negatively, of course. Okay? Now, character isn't created in crisis. It is only manifested under pressure. You build your character right now, so that when the time for crisis or the time of crisis come and the time of pressure comes, of course they will surely come, you manifest your character. In other words, people show us their true color when they are in crisis or when they are under pressure. Sometimes you never know how impatient somebody can be until, the person is under work pressure and all of that, and you see the person's true nature, you see the person's true color. It has always been there. It was just the pressure that brought it out. Okay, so we know the true extent of your character and the strength of your person when you are either in crisis or under pressure. That's why we must get these things in place right now. You don't need to build it when you get into leadership positions. You start building it now with the people you have around you and with your own personal dealings and stuff. Start building character strength from now, so that when you get into those positions of leadership or into those positions of authority, you would not manifest the wrong kind of actions and all of that. Okay, very, very important. All right, now in our fight to be people, I'm going to end with this very briefly as we go on a short break, then we'll come back and continue. In our fight to be people of integrity, never forget this simple rule. And what's the rule? Don't do today what you wouldn't be proud to read in blogs and in websites and in social media posts or newspapers the next day. If you check and you wouldn't be proud to read about it or to have everyone read about it the next day, then don't do it at all. We'll be right back. We'll go on a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Hello viewers, you're welcome back. We trust you've been enjoying the program so far and learning a lot. We've been talking about the importance of integrity, prioritizing integrity, and it's been a journey so far, learning the need to prioritize integrity as a tool to help grow your leadership influence. I trust so far you've been blessed. So far you've learned a lot. We're going to pick up from where we left when we went, or before we went on a break. So we're talking about something you should commit to memory, a simple rule that you should commit to memory as a leader. And we said that rule is not doing today what you wouldn't be proud to read about in the papers or in blogs or on social media the next day. So if you aren't comfortable having everybody know about what you are doing today, then don't do it at all. Don't do it at all. Don't do it at all. What this is going to help you do is that it's going to help you stay conscious of doing the right thing even when nobody is looking. Even when nobody is looking. I'm still going to talk about the difference between character and reputation, more like integrity and reputation. We're going to see the differences. One is external, the other one goes beyond just being external. It's something we do when somebody is looking and when nobody is looking. Okay, so very, very important. Very, very important. Like I said earlier, integrity as a leader is non-negotiable if you want to command influence among persons. Now, it's also important to know at this point that sometimes when we talk about having integrity in everything you do, character and all of that, some people tend to, think that human beings, are you now saying that human beings can be perfect? Or are you now encouraging us to be perfect and all of that is not possible and all? Yeah, it's not possible to be perfect. And that's why in the course of in the course of our discussion, even if it's not today, maybe in the next episode, you will get to understand that one of the things you should do as a leader is never, ever portray yourself as perfect. Let people know that you are a human being. Okay? It's not to give space for calculated errors, no. But it's just a fact of life. And you're making mistakes first shouldn't be a deliberate act because you believe people should know that you are not perfect. And then secondly it keeps you in check. When you realize you are not infallible, it helps you, not take some unnecessary chances in order to avoid stories that touch the heart. Okay? Now we're going to continue. I'm going to share with you what integrity is not. Maybe about 2 or 3 things that integrity is not. We're going to look at it in that light and then get better understanding of what we're talking about. First of all, integrity is not determined by circumstances. Of a truth, our upbringing and circumstances could shape our character in a way. But at the end of the day, you will discover that we are who we are by choice. We did what we did by choice. We do what we are doing by choice. So it's not really wise to blame who you are on your environment or on your circumstances. We blame it on our choices, and your choices are your own making. So integrity, our character, is not totally shaped by our circumstances or our environment. It is shaped by our choices. The older we become, the more responsible we become for our choices. For instance, you can think of any bad thing you've ever done in your life. Maybe told a lie, stolen from your mother's pot, or defrauded someone. Think of any of such scenarios. And if you are truthful to yourself, you will understand that you had a choice either to do those things or not to do them. You had a choice either to do those things. I remember those days in secondary school where we can lie. We lied. Sometimes you lie so much that, to cover your tracks, you say another classmate did what you did. We had choices to make. The only issue then was that the only stuff we had on ground was that we didn't want to be flogged. Within split seconds, you see the human brain making calculations and at the end of the day, make choices. Everything boils down to choices. You made the choice to become who you are today. And you can make another choice to become a better version of you than you already are. You can make that choice. So we don't blame it on circumstances. We don't blame our character. You see people say, I get angry easily. That was how I was raised. Or, I'm a ruffian. I grew up in a rough neighborhood and all of that. You chose to flow with what you met on ground. I could maybe give it to you. Maybe you didn't know any better, but you are learning something better right now. You are having a change of mind right now, and you can change by taking another decision. So don't blame your actions, your irrational actions, on what somebody did or what somebody did not do. You meet a lot of persons, they tell you, I'm the way I am because I don't know who my father is, I don't know who my mother is, and all of that. All those things are excuses. They might seem valid, but it doesn't hold water, because at the end of the day, it's your choice. It's your choice, okay? Secondly, you must understand that your circumstances are as responsible for your character as a mirror is responsible for your looks. And of course, a mirror is not responsible for our looks. A mirror simply reflects back to us what, we give back to it. So you reflect your character. in circumstances, not the other way around. All right. Secondly, integrity is not based on your credentials. Never ever think you can make influence or you can make impact in people's lives by flaunting your credentials, your titles, and all of that. It's not by how much certificates you've acquired. It's by how much integrity you have. It's by how much integrity you have. The strength of your character. So I wrote down here, I said, no amount of titles, degrees, offices, awards, or credentials can substitute for basic honest integrity when it comes to influencing others positively. So we must exalt integrity, character above titles, above credentials in influencing the lives of people around us. We must exalt integrity above credentials. All right. The next one, as we begin to round up, is that you must learn not to confuse integrity with reputation. Reputation is what you are perceived to be. Character is what you are. Reputation is the photograph. Character is the face. So in our generation, when people tell you this is not my real face, so most times they are telling you the truth, but we laugh about it. Because actually, it's not their real face. When pressure comes and when crisis come, that's when you will actually know. That's when you will actually know that it's not their real face. And you are wondering, is this how you have always been? They told you this is not their real face. You did not just listen. So don't be that kind of person who has different faces. Be a person of integrity. Be a person of character. Reputation is what people perceive you to be from the external. Character is what you know you are from the inside. Sometimes when you are being accused that you lied, the reason why it's paining you is not because they are saying you lied. The reason why it's paining you is because you know yourself that you are not a liar. Your character says you are not a liar, and here is somebody accusing you. So that's why most times when you see people who are pained, it's like you are telling them who they are not, and it's paining them very well, and all of that. But reputation is what people perceive you to be on the external. Character is who you are from the inside out. Now, a good reputation is certainly valuable, but our good reputation should be a true reflection of our character. D.L. Moody said something, and I'll say this and we'll round off. If I take care of my character, my reputation will take care of itself. Work on your character, and you wouldn't have to, switch between what people think about you and who you really are. They will match up anytime, any day. It's in our best interest to prioritize integrity and sound character because it never betrays us. It never puts us in a compromising position. You become who you are in the morning, the same person in the afternoon, the same person at night. We know what we can't bring to your table because we already know what your response would be. We know you have zero tolerance for immorality in any angle, whether in the workspace or in career and all of that. Be a person of integrity, and the world one day, even if it's not today, will stand to celebrate your courage. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for learning all you've learned, all you've learned rather. We trust that you keep growing in your leadership influence as God gives you grace. God bless you. See you next time.